Here we have a two-dimensional variable cost distribution, 2 dimensions, 16 elements, and we can see that, for example, in the summer, in the night, for the whole summer, for the nights, we have to pay $1,500 for heating, and during the nights in autumn, 2,200. We can get these results in Matlab with the little script, and the result will be basically the same list. In the last column we have the values, so that's the 1,518, here's the 2,200. In the first two columns specify the set elements. So if we know that 11 is summer and 15 is night, then we can read this out. But we cannot rely on the fact, or we cannot rely on that in the fifth line, as it is here, there will also always be the autumn-night combination. It's possible that in the fifth line, where we have now the autumn-night combination, after another execution, there will be the autumn-morning combination. This could happen if the result for summer noon is a 0, for example. Then all the lines go 1 to the top. So reading out from here is pretty painful, maybe. This is how we can see the results much easier. This is what we would like to have in Matlab too. And a function called read2 does exactly that. So from the long list, no matter whether there are zeros in it or not, and no matter how long the sets are, we can make a matrix again. Let's have a look in this function, see how it works. I just start it again. My input parameters are the name of the GDX file, the name of the variable, cost distribution. And then I have 4 more input parameters. The first is the set I want to have in my rows. So if I want to have summer, autumn, winter, and spring here, then I first have to enter the season as my set. If I would like to have night, morning, noon, evening in my rows, then I would make a T here. Well, I would make a T here and an S here. But let's stick to this arrangement for now. Then there are 2 remaining parameters. I have to tell Matlab in which column of the result vector it can find the real numbers for the seasons. And in this case, this is column number 1. Because here in the first column are the real numbers for the seasons, and in the second column are the real numbers for the time periods. This is determined by how I declare the variable here. First season, then time. And the last column will always be the values. Okay. So first, in the function, Matlab gets the set information for both sets, and then writes a matrix with just zeros in the size that we need later on. That's not exactly the size of the matrix here. And in the next step, Matlab gets all the values by, let's call it basic reading. There we go with the same list. This list, basically. Now MATLAB will read line by line this UL number and the second UL number, and from these two information determine where in this zero matrix this value should be. So for example, in the first loop, the matrix changes. It's not only zeros anymore, but the first value has been placed in the upper left corner. And when we continue this, then there comes the second value, and the third, fourth, fifth, sixth. Till the whole matrix is written, and then the function is done already. As I said, we could also change this. Now I will have the time periods in the rows and the seasons in the columns. But this value that I mark now belongs to the first set that I entered. And MATLAB will find it in the second column. So I have to change this to 2 and this to 1. And we can see that we now get the other order, basically this result.